All right, so get this. We're going deep on this British soldier. Um, Caught spying, right, for Iran.
Okay.
But and here's the thing. He's more Scooby-Doo than like James Bond. We're talking.
Really?
Yeah. Fake documents, like made in Microsoft Word,
No.
payments stuffed in dog poo bags.
What? No.
Yay! Yeah, left in parks.
Oh, this is wild.
And the cherry on top, he escaped prison by clinging to a food truck.
Okay, that sounds more like a movie or something.
Exactly. It's nuts, right? But here's the thing, it gets serious, like really serious.
Absolutely, yeah.
You sent over like all those court transcripts and the security analysis stuff on this Daniel Khalife guy.
Right.
I gotta admit, I'm hooked. So let's break it down. Like, what did this guy actually do?
Yeah.
Why should we even care?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, what does this whole thing tell us about spying today? Espionage. In the modern world.
Well, the first thing that really stands out about this whole thing is Khalife. He kind of fits this like profile
Okay.
that intelligence agencies
Mhm.
they're targeting more and more these days.
Mm-hmm.
He was young, 23, right?
23, wow.
And he's got like Iranian and Lebanese heritage.
Okay.
Joined the British Army, young, and like by all accounts, pretty normal soldier, right?
Yeah.
But then gets this like Facebook message.
Hold on. Facebook. That's how he got recruited.
It might seem, I don't know, kind of ridiculous almost.
It does. It really does.
But honestly, that's kind of why it works,
Okay.
Because see, in the past, like intelligence agencies, right? They focused on recruiting these high-level people,
Yeah.
like officials,
Hmm.
or planting moles in, really sensitive positions.
Makes sense.
But these days, things are different, right? Social media, they can target way more people, cast a wider net,
Yeah.
so to speak. So they can go after people who might have access to like lower level stuff,
Okay.
but it's still valuable
Right.
information.
Right.
People like Khalife, who might be, I don't know, a little conflicted maybe about their identity, or looking for, I don't know, a purpose, a sense of adventure.
So instead of like going after the top secret files, they're looking for smaller pieces of the puzzle
Exactly.
that add up to the bigger picture.
Exactly. And it's not always, about military ops or government secrets.
Oh, okay.
They might want like really mundane stuff,
Hmm.
like troop movements
Okay.
or base layouts, the names of personnel,
Hmm.
even like the social dynamics within a unit.
Really?
Things that like on their own you'd think, who
Right.
cares?
Right. Right.
But you put it all together and it gives a foreign power a real edge.
So I'm picturing like Iranian intelligence just like scrolling through Facebook and Instagram, trying to like figure out the British Army.
Pretty much.
Right.
And what's even more, I don't know, concerning maybe, is how open we all are to that.
You're right.
That kind of, social engineering. It's not just about, spies getting recruits. It's about like manipulating people
Yeah.
online,
Yeah.
influencing their beliefs,
Yeah.
their perceptions. It's happening all the time, all around us.
Yeah. That is kind of unnerving.
Yeah.
So back to Khalife.
Yeah.
He was creating fake documents, compiling names of soldiers. He even got like info on special forces units.
Right.
But it all sounds so, I don't know, like basic.
Mm.
Was he really a threat? Or just like playing spy games?
Well, see, that's where it gets a little more complicated. I mean, his
Complicated.
methods, yeah, they might seem kind of amateurish,
Yeah.
but the information he had access to, that was real
Right.
in the wrong hands.
Yeah.
That could be, really bad. In fact, the judge, in his case, he specifically said that Khalife's actions were, how did he put it, prejudicial to the safety or interests of the state.
Okay, well that sounds like, legal jargon.
Yeah.
But what does that really mean?
Basically, it means, his actions, they had the potential to really harm the UK's security, their interests.
Okay.
By giving that information to another country, right, to a foreign power.
Yeah.
He could have put military personnel in danger. He could have messed with, current operations. He could have even like hurt the UK's relationships with its allies.
Wow.
It's why espionage, right? It's considered such a serious crime.
Makes sense.
The consequences are huge.
Well, even if he was like what was it, a Walter Mitty character, right? That the police commander called him, like living out some kind of fantasy, he still could have done some real damage.
Absolutely. And that's what's so interesting about this case, I think.
Yeah.
It really shows how blurry the lines are, between online and the real world.
Yeah.
And how these, seemingly harmless things online can have serious real world consequences.
It's making me rethink my whole online life.
Yeah.
So if Iran is going after these like lower level people, right?
Wow. Yeah.
What are they looking for? Why would they even care about the kind of stuff that Khalife could get?
Well, you got to think of it like this. Like intelligence gathering, it's all about, building up a complete picture of your adversary, right?
Right.
So Iran, right? They might want to understand the British Army, what they can do.
Okay.
Their weaknesses, maybe. Even just like get a sense of the morale there or the political views within the ranks. Even small details, they can be really useful in that context.
So it's like, they're crowdsourcing espionage. They're
Right.
taking little bits and pieces from people who have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what makes it so effective, I think. It's really hard to spot. Because unlike, the traditional kind of spying, right?
Yeah.
With secret meetings and exchanging like, top secret documents,
Yeah.
this can all happen like online,
Right.
just normal everyday stuff.
Okay, so we figured out like Khalife he had access to important info, right?
Right.
Even if his methods were a little,
Yeah.
basic.
Amateur, maybe.
Yeah. What I still don't get is why.
And motivation.
Yeah, the motivation. Why would a young British soldier, right, risk everything to spy for Iran?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
And it's one that, these intelligence agencies, they struggle with all the time. Like, what makes someone betray their country?
Right.
Is it ideology? Is it money? Are they disillusioned?
Mm.
Resentful, maybe?
Yeah.
Or maybe in Khalif's case, it was something else entirely.
He did reach out to MI5, right, and MI6.
He did, yeah.
Trying to become like a double agent.
Yeah.
Could that mean like he was having some kind of internal struggle?
It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's definitely possible. I mean, he had, Iranian and Lebanese heritage.
Right.
So maybe he was having a hard time kind of figuring out his identity.
Yeah.
Like as a British soldier with that family background.
Right.
Maybe he saw himself as a bridge, between those two worlds. Someone could kind of navigate all the complex international stuff.
Yeah.
Or maybe he was just, naive.
Yeah.
Drawn in by the kind of romantic idea of espionage.
Right.
The
excitement of it all.
The excitement.
Yeah. It's hard to imagine like a 23-year-old having the maturity, the smarts to actually pull off being a double agent.
Yeah.
Maybe he just got in too deep and realized like, oh no, this is bad.
That happens a lot with these lower level recruits.
Oh, really?
They see the romance of it, the espionage, or maybe they just want, I don't know, to be recognized,
Yeah.
to be validated, and they don't really see the consequences until it's too late.
And then there's the escape.
Oh yeah.
He literally faked a bomb threat
Yeah.
and escaped prison by holding on to the bottom of a food truck.
I know.
It sounds ridiculous.
It does. It does. But I think it says something about how desperate he was.
Yeah.
Or maybe even delusional.
So was he actually trying to defect to Iran?
That's a good question.
Or was this just like a last ditch effort to, get away?
Yeah. It's hard to say for sure. We might never really know what he was thinking.
Right. You mentioned social engineering earlier.
Yeah.
Could he have been like manipulated into escaping? Maybe his Iranian handlers, promised him like safety or a new life if he got to Iran.
Definitely possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Social engineering, it really comes down to taking advantage of weaknesses.
Yeah.
Right. And in Khalif's case, those weaknesses, maybe they were, I don't know, his age, his lack of experience, maybe even like his need to belong, to have a purpose.
So you might have been like a pawn in some bigger, game.
Yeah.
Used by people who were just using him.
It's kind of a scary thought.
It is.
But it's something we have to consider.
Yeah.
Because this type of manipulation, it's not just happening in the spy world. It's happening all around us all the time.
Yeah.
Advertisers use it to get us to buy stuff. Politicians use it to change our minds about things.
Yeah.
And more, foreign countries, foreign powers, they're using it to try to weaken our institutions, to cause problems in our societies.
So we've gone from this kind of comical dog poo bags and clinging to food trucks to like information warfare. I mean that's a pretty big jump.
It is.
Let's bring it back to our listener for a second.
Okay.
What can they learn from all of this, from the Khalife case? What are the big takeaways?
Well, I think the most important thing to remember is that espionage, right, spying, it's not just happening in the shadows anymore. It's happening out in the open, in the digital spaces that we're all in all the time, and it's targeting everyday people, like you and me.
So we all need to realize that we could be targets, even if we don't have state secrets or work in some top secret job.
Absolutely, anyone who's online, they're a potential target, and that's why you got to be aware of the tactics that they're using.
Yeah,
and take steps to protect yourself.
So next time I get a friend request from someone I don't know.
Yeah,
I should think twice.
You should. You really should. And it's not just about, friend requests. It's about being aware of how, what you do online. It can be tracked. It can be analyzed.
Right.
It can be,
used
against you.
So how do we even manage that? It's like we're leaving these digital footprints everywhere we go.
You are. Well, you can start by being a little more careful about, what apps you use, what services you use.
Right.
Choose companies that have, good privacy policies, and be careful about ones that collect a ton of information about you.
So how about all these, free apps, free services? Aren't we kind of paying for them? With our data?
You are. In a lot of cases you are. There's a saying in the tech world, it's if you're not paying for the product, you are the product.
Yeah.
So it's worth thinking about, is the convenience of getting something for free worth, the cost to your privacy?
It's like we're always being asked to choose, right? Like convenience over privacy, security over freedom.
You are.
It's tough to find that right balance.
It is. And there's not an easy answer. But the important thing is to be informed.
Right.
To know what choices you're making and to do what you can to make things safer.
So being, careful about what we share online, that's a good first step. What else can we do?
You can also work on your online security, Use strong passwords. Turn on two-factor authentication.
Right.
Wherever you can. That makes it a lot harder for hackers.
Right.
For intelligence agencies to get into your stuff.
Yeah, that's good advice. I'm definitely guilty of using the same password for, a few things.
I think we all are. I mean, it's just easier.
Yeah.
But these days we got to make, strong passwords and good security. We got to make that a priority.
Okay, so we've got be careful what we share. Stronger passwords. Anything else.
Yeah. The maybe the most important thing of all, be skeptical.
Okay.
Don't just believe everything you see online.
Right.
Question your sources, check the information, and be really careful about stuff that plays on your emotions or your biases.
So it's like we have to become our own fact checkers.
Yeah.
Always checking the information that's coming at us.
You do. You need to really think critically.
Yeah.
And be smart about what you're reading and what you're consuming. Look for proof. Look at things from different perspectives, and don't be afraid to say, wait a minute, to information that seems off or too good to be true.
I think that's a great point for our listeners. Don't just just take in information, be active.
Right.
Be engaged and be critical.
Exactly. And remember, it's not just about, protecting yourself. It's about protecting our whole society. All this misinformation, all this manipulation, it can really hurt our democracy.
Right.
It makes people not trust each other. It causes division.
Yeah, that's true.
So by being more aware, by thinking more critically, we can not only keep ourselves safe, but we can also help create a better, more informed public discussion.
I like that. Okay, so we've talked about like how anyone can be a target, right? And the tactics they use and how much damage they can do, but how do we, what can people actually do to protect themselves? It feels kind of like impossible.
Yeah, I get that. It can be, a little overwhelming, but there are things you can do, simple things, to make yourself less of a target.
I'm listening. What can we do?
Well, first you got to be aware of what you share online. Think before you post.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, like, would I want like a foreign intelligence agency to see this?
That's a good point.
Right.
Yeah.
Or a potential employer, or even just someone you don't know very well.
Yeah. I don't think most people think about that, like how much info they're putting out there.
They don't. And it's not just about what you post, directly. It's about what websites you visit, the apps you use, the devices you connect to.
Yeah.
All that stuff leaves a trail.
Right.
That can be, tracked and analyzed.
So, how do you even start to like manage all that? It's like we're leaving. Like digital footprints everywhere.
You are. Well, you can start by, being a little pickier about the apps you use.
Yeah.
The services. Pick companies that have good, privacy policies.
Yeah.
And watch out for ones that take a lot of information about you.
Okay. How about all the the free apps, free services? Aren't we basically paying for those with our information?
In a lot of cases.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you are. There's this, saying in tech, if you're not paying for the product, you are the product.
Right.
So, you got to think, is it worth it?
Yeah.
To get something for free?
Yeah.
If it means giving up your privacy?
It's like we're always having to choose between like convenience and privacy, security and freedom. It's hard to find that balance.
It is. It's tough.
Yeah.
There's no like perfect answer, but being informed is key.
Yeah.
Understanding what choices you're making.
Yeah.
And trying to make things as safe as you can.
Okay. So being careful about what we share online, that's one thing. What else?
You can also beef up your security.
Online security.
Yeah. Online security. Use good passwords, strong passwords.
Yeah.
And turn on two-factor authentication. Wherever you can. It makes it much harder for the bad guys.
Yeah. Well,
hackers, intelligence agencies.
Right.
To get in.
I'll admit, I have used the same password for a few different things.
Oh yeah, me too. It's easier, right?
Yeah, it is.
But we got to make this stuff a priority.
Right.
Strong passwords.
Yeah.
Good security.
So we've got be careful what you share. We've got strong passwords. Anything else? Any other like big tips?
Yeah. The probably the biggest one, be skeptical.
Okay.
Don't just, believe everything you see online.
Right.
Question where the information's coming from.
Yeah.
Check it. And be really careful about stuff that kind of like plays on your emotions or your biases.
So it's like we have to become our own like fact checkers.
Yeah, pretty much. You got to think critically.
Yeah.
And be really smart about what you're, taking in, what you're reading, what you're watching. Look for proof. Look at things from different angles and don't be afraid to question things.
Yeah.
If something seems off or too good to be true.
I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
For everyone listening, don't just be passive. Like be active, be engaged, be critical.
Exactly. And remember, it's not just about protecting yourself. It's about our whole society.
Right.
This misinformation, all this manipulation, it can really hurt us. It's a democracy.
Right.
It breaks down trust. It divides people.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. So by being more aware and thinking more critically, we can help create a healthier, more informed, public discussion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
I like that.
Yeah.
This has been I don't know, kind of a wild ride.
It has.
It started with, dog poo bags and food trucks.
Right.
And we've ended up talking about the future of security, information warfare.
Yeah.
Like the nature of truth.
Big stuff, but important stuff.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think these conversations are important.
They are.
The more we understand the threats, the better we can, handle them. Well, I think we've covered a lot. Any final thoughts you wanna leave people with?
Just be curious.
Okay.
Ask questions. Don't just accept what you hear.
Challenge things.
Yeah. In a world where information is, a weapon, thinking for yourself, that's the best defense.
I like that. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been my pleasure.
Into, the world of modern espionage. It's been, I don't know, eye-opening.
It has.
And to everyone listening, thank you for joining us. We hope this deep dive has, given you something to think about. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe.